evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I'm James Howell. There's been a hiatus. I've had a lot of stuff going on in the real world here that has taken me away from streaming for a little bit, but we are back and hopefully with greater regularity. So give me just 1 second. I'm clearing off a little bit of hard drive space so we can let the archive of the stream play through. Awesome. So, yeah, I checked the video timestamps, and apparently it's been 21 days since the last stream, so apologies for anybody who's waiting on part 4 of Legacy of Kain Defiance. Like I said, it's been a heck of a month, and it's taken me away from some of the regular recreational things. But back, and I'm gonna hop back on that horse. So, meanwhile, the other horses I've been riding are, let's see. Here we go. Let me grab you. Pull us over here. The reading I have been doing, I have come into possession of a great backlog of Asimov and analog. Let me see, get you over here. Analog science fiction magazines going back quite a ways, and I've been going through that backlog and really enjoying many of the stories that. Let's see, these are 94, Asimov 94, Analog 94, May, Asimov 94. Yeah, it's got, I mean, just if you sort of kept up with sort of like the staple science fiction writers from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, there's just like, there's Ben Bova, there's Damon Knight, and Connie Willis, and just excellent writers showing up in these. And there's even one here, I don't know if this is a story by him, but it has an item here titled Return to the Moon by Buzz Aldrin. So I'm looking forward to reading that. One thing that I can recommend that I read in Asimov's Science Fiction, January 1994, this is incredibly well written. And it's not strictly science fiction. It kind of fits that speculative fiction definition of SF that has sort of become more dominant to cover the breadth of what we consider SF on the less hard sci-fi end of that spectrum. The Changeling's Tale by Michael Swanwick. It is very well written fantasy. It is very artfully written and does a great job of communicating a concrete, sort of like sensual, imaginative world, while also being a little loose and kind of communicating some of the cognitive sort of lapses and time lapses that happen from the character's point of view. So yeah, that's The Changeling's Tale by Michael Swanwick. Highly recommend. And that is actually anthologized elsewhere in Swanwick's work. Besides that, also going back to science fiction, I've been finally getting around to Asimov's Foundation, which is, let's see, which I thought for the longest time that Foundation was the source of Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics, but in fact it is not. I'm thinking that's iRobot, and just, those two things kind of get mixed up in my head. But Foundation is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. It is a very lucidly, charmingly, and very rationally written piece of fiction that manages to be both incisive, economically phrased, to the point, visual, and also warm. There's a kind of warmth to it that you don't get from certain kinds of hard sci-fi that expects you to be interested in the material matter that it's discussing and is not willing necessarily to kind of like go an extra step toward meeting an audience that isn't already embedded in whatever its particular obsession is. But Asimov's interests in this are societal change, societal growth, the relationship between science and religion, and has a special contempt for administrators and militarists. That is the consistent sort of like coloring that I'm seeing of different roles. Scientists are dignified. Even religionists are dignified. He kind of seems to view religion as a not unacceptable vehicle for good ideas, and in this case, science is the material that religion is sort of used to promote. But there appear to be very few good administrators, very few good militarists. They always wind up being sort of the butt of what's going on. So that's good, and I recommend it. Math is going well, and recently came into possession of a brand new timer. This is very exciting for me. I had this one, mechanical timers. These are lovely things, and I recommend them to all. So that gets us through the halftime show here, or halftime intro show, whatever happens before. Let me get chat up on this iPad so I can close this down and we can switch over and start playing a game. So I actually, a pre-game show. Thank you, Logan, and it's good to see you. That is what I was searching for and not finding. How are you tonight? Well, it's kind of barely tonight here, but it's tonight off. Math is going very well. As a matter of fact, I've got. Oh no! Oh, this is my. Had to get a dedicated notebook to it, so I've got my. Let's see. I've got my verbal definitions up here in the front for things like absolute values, coefficients. It's actually really refreshing. I mean, going back and doing the basics really lets you know, the difference between equation and expression. These words are so casually used outside of math in a very loosely metaphoric way that you kind of lose a sense of what they precisely mean in their original context. So it's extremely refreshing to go back and to understand that an expression is something without an equal sign, and an equation is something with an equal sign, because it is about balancing two sides of a thing. And something that is actually really refreshing to gain a perspective on when you are learning this in school and there is an element of punishment involved for inaccuracy. Basically, when inaccuracy and mistakes are equated with failure, it makes you very much not want to learn it and not want to participate. But when mistakes and inaccuracies are defund school, I would say alternately administer them. But oh man, poor schools. They're defunded enough. That's really funny. But yeah, it's like once you sort of like get a sense of like that, you know, you're not looking. See, inaccuracy and inaccuracy connected to failure is connected to the idea of an answer, which is an endpoint that you're trying to get to, at which point you can consider the whole thing solved, which then lets you move on to another problem. And there's a whole element of authority bound up into that, and that doesn't work for me. But once I kind of came to understand that equations are about balance, and that what you have on both sides of an equal sign is just something that has to be load bearing, equivalently load bearing on each side. And it is about balance, and it's about re-expression and morphing. And once you understand mathematics not as a static set of rules, but a set of, I'm just going to use the word variable, a variable quantities that are morphing and changing and going through metamorphosis, and that there is always an expense of energy and also a conservation of identity, that it always has to be the same thing. It just takes different forms, and you can understand the same thing in different ways. Then it just kind of opens up and becomes really beautiful, and I absolutely love it. Math language is that it's even more freeform than English. That's really interesting. I have not gotten to that point where I understand how that works, but that's actually kind of the perspective and sort of like the galaxy brain experience of math that I'm looking forward to reaching. Because you know, I have many friends who are engineers, who are physics majors, who you know, math PhDs and things like that. Every time they have talked about math to me, I have just been in awe of what they see in it, and I've been like, man, I love what you see, and I wish that I saw that too. And you know, maybe it's just, you know, you wait for the right time for the right things to hit you and become meaningful, and now's the time for math, and I'm very much enjoying it. But yeah, this is my notebook. This is where I'm going through, writing my things, solving my problems. If that's a blank page, that's a lot of problems to be solved. But things like this, where you just kind of work it out, and having a dedicated play space. I mean, I'm going very much basics to cover old material, even such things as like PEMDAS, order of operations stuff. But it's going well, and my ultimate goal is by the end of the year to be able to work with reasonable accuracy through a college-level calculus textbook. And I believe I can do that. Back in like 2009, 2011, I undertook to teach myself networking to pass a Cisco networking certification, a CCENT, and I was able to do that in about 2.5 months, and feel pretty good if I can do that, that I can teach myself calculus. So, and I'm also using many other tools like Khan Academy, which is fantastic, and I highly recommend if you need any kind of refresher on that stuff. And so thank you to Ark and also Dreambaum, who's a stream regular, and also Time Zombie for recommending and advocating for that resource. So, let's get to this area up here. And yeah, I mean, I have many friends who have gone into education, and as much as I look askance at some of my experiences with public education, I have many friends who are public educators now, and I have a different perspective and can appreciate some of the obstacles that they run into that impact both the efficiency of what they can do, the efficacy of what they can do, and also their morale. Because when you have teachers and their morale is shot, then you get, you know, it's just harder to get the same kind of kinetic energy and back and forth between students and teacher when you have an administrative system that feels crushing. So, with that in mind, let's play a game about vampires. Alright. So, I kind of don't remember what we were doing last in Legacy of Kain because it's been 21 days. Let's close that. Oh, let's see if I can get to the browser before it loads up. Because I love looking at the screen. Good nostalgic feeling. Every time I look at the screen, I remember playing Dante. It makes me sound like a million years old and out of touch. Playing Devil May Cry on Dante Must Die difficulty. And just obsessively copying my save from one memory card to the other because I did not want to lose the data, and I'd previously lost my like 99 to 100% complete Metal Gear Solid Subsistence VR mission save on a corrupted third-party memory card. Ever since then, I was always paranoid about doing anything that's in this sort of like super hard realm. Yeah, anyway, that's a memory. Alright, Ark, yeah, I'm glad to have you around, and good luck with your cooking. That is absolutely something to keep an eye on. Don't want that to catch fire. Speaking of uber hard runs, something that I intend to do after Legacy of Kain Defiance, I think we have maybe 2 or 3 more streams of this left, but after we complete that, or if I am able to sort of like pick up a stream midweek, then maybe start this then, is once I finish hardcore on Resident Evil 8, I want to go through and do a Village of Shadows, which is the super hard difficulty, a Village of Shadows run. And that is something that would be cool to stream, whether it is my definitive file or if it's just sort of like going through with a second file. I think that would be a lot of fun. And if you haven't played Resident Evil 8 and you have the means to, I highly recommend it. It is a fantastic game. RE7 was one of my favorites, and just really of all time, especially with its VR mode. And RE8 is basically a Resident Evil 4ification of RE7. So, excellent, excellent stuff. Okay. You can definitely feel when you've let your hair grow long for a colder season and then it gets warm and you're like, oh my god, it's setting me on fire. Alright. There are a handful of games that have very distinct, recognizable UI sounds like this, like the early Resident Evil games, Silent Hill games, and but then there are most games that sort of have stock UI sound effects, and I kind of wonder like where the line is drawn on that between something that is considered proprietary or just what's free to use. Okay, that's right. Last time we were here, Raziel had just finished up getting one of the Reavers. Let's see. Which one is that? Light Reaver.
Light Reaver.
Oh, thank you. Let's listen to him say that. That's really good.
Light Reaver. Light Reaver.
Almost sounds like he says Light Weaver.
Light Reaver. Light Reaver. Dark Reaver, Material Reaver, Spectral Reaver, Light Reaver.
Yeah, the R is just a little soft coming off the T on that one, so it kind of has a wah sound, but it's all good.
Perforate Carcass, Phantasmal Tempest.
Like how he almost sounds lamenting. That's like, he's like, well, we're doing this again. Building up skills, fighting the combats.
Perforate Carcass.
So the challenge for where we are now is to go back to leave this dungeon, and I believe this is where we can do that. I find it interesting, some action games require you to make contact with an enemy before you can execute any of the combos. And this, and others let you just kind of do it whenever. And this is one that lets you do it whenever. Which is good for practice, but those other games do give you kind of like a VR mission or a practice arena mode to let you figure that stuff out.
I have the means now to depart the cemetery. I only needed to find the gate that would send me on my way.
I need to do something real fast. Give me 1 second. Enjoy the music. So that was a moment of associative remembering of chores. I was drinking water and I was like, oh wow, this feels really good. I really like water. Other mammals like water. Other mammals in my house include myself, family, and my cats. My cats have water. My cat's water is filtered through a little fountain. My cat's fountain is not on because I just cleaned it. I need to turn on the fountain. And that's sort of how you get from one thing to another. Alright, so... Okay, cool, I don't... Looks like I do not have to use a font to change my Reaver type this time. Cool. Combat still feels good in this. I feel like I don't have to be too deliberate or intentional. I just kind of have to feel like it's a right moment where I can safely use a TK projectile or I can safely roll and have a good outcome. And then just kind of let that happen, see where things end up, and then respond from there. Which is kind of how I like it, because it's a little bit, it makes me feel smart for being able to read the situation, and also gives me a little bit of surprise in how cool combat looks. Let me turn this down to the headphones. It's a little loud here. There we go. So if I remember correctly, there is a large hub world just around here. And I hope that the level design makes it clear enough which way I need to go, because if there was a hint or a cue that I should have paid attention to or would have recognized from an uninterrupted playthrough, I have since forgotten it. Whoa, hey buddy. Bam. Come on. There we go. I love that I got that. He's just the Bart Simpson. I'm going to swing my arms and move in this direction. And if you get hit, that's your own problem. I believe that was Bart that had that. At least I had the kicking. Yes, cutscene, show me the way. Okay. Good. So, yeah, hey. On. I would like to kill your mage, please. There we go. No more buffs for you. Oh wait, Kain is the one that has the slam. Oh wait, he still thought he was. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure if there's something specific that is supposed to break that shield, but there we go. Currently, I'm just wailing on it and waiting for it to break, and that seems to work fine. Whenever you have a shield, I always wonder if there's a more strategic way of doing it, like an elemental weakness or something that can be tapped into. But in this case, I guess not. No, there you are. How awful that must feel to be hanging out behind a shield and just like watch one of your comrades both get cut down and have their soul sucked in front of you while you as the support member on the team are still there behind your safety shield. I imagine that for a character that has the temperament needed to be a support, that would feel bad. Dreambalm showed me a video that was released of a incomplete sequel, or at least I don't know if sequel is the right word for it because it seems to have whole new characters, but at least another game, another entry in the Legacy of Kain series, and it looked. Let's see if I can use my. There we go. It looked like a lot of fun, and I'm very sad that that did not see further development. One of the things that it seemed to do is really put more emphasis. Ooh, nice, on the sort of like rogue punk vampire hunter culture, which is a different angle than you see from the elevated, high and mighty, elevated speech vampire nobility characters. Shatter Spirit. I'll leave you hanging there.
Perforate carcass. Phantasmal tempest. Shatter spirit.
Okay, here's the Raziel version of the axe cleave that Kain has. So forward and smash. Applying the proper leverage, I am able to execute a devilishly quick yet soul-shattering blow that leaves my target vulnerable to further assault. Okay. Oh, well. Maybe that would be more gratifying if I were doing it to somebody who was not shielded. Teleportation to like 2 inches away. Oh, did she peace out? I guess I heard her die off screen, and that's it for her. So, I remember I'm going up this way. That is where I need to go, but there are invisible walls here. As there are there. Because the camera showing me where to go went up through those ruins. Maybe I can take my way around. Or maybe I have to go on top. That's another possibility. Okay, so this is where I exited. Up through there is where I need to go. Okay, is there another way I can go around this structure? This. Okay, yeah, maybe this. Yeah. Whoop. I actually wanted that for health, but that's fine. Okay, good. Here we are. I love the synth and string combination in Raziel's themes. I think it's also interesting how the way the Reaver materializes out of his arm, it's not just a sword that he's holding, it has that sort of lightning effect that sort of snakes up through his arms, and it has a kind of has an organic quality to it, kind of a vein slash electrical pulse kind of going over to his heart, which makes it appear more connected to, you know, his physique, which of course it is, but that's a nice touch to kind of convey the difference between that and Kain's Reaver.
An ancient gate, sealed by the powers of light and darkness, barred the way to the pillars beyond. To depart this place and continue my journey, I would have to find the means to open it.
Buster, I think I got just what you need.
At last, the gate yielded to the powers of light and darkness with which the Reaver had been forged. The way to the pillars was open.
All right. Oh man, this thing seems to not be on as tight as it should be. There we go. All right, let's trek forward and I'm sure meet the ever-aggrieved Ariel, constantly haunting the place with half a face. Oh, this is Kain. It's interesting that they chose silence for this. Oh, I guess that's the load screen. That's... Maybe that's why it's silent? I don't know. Alright, where's the mage? Come here, buddy. Crunch. There we go. You are down for the count. What? Someone left. I gotta say, if you are an archer in this world and you are still holding on to the fight after the bruisers have been dispatched, you have a strong sense of purpose, or are very optimistic. So, is there something over here? It gave me a gameplay hint of using TK. What? A halberder? Yeah, there we go. R2 to aim TK at target objects. And... is there something else up here? Appears not to be. Oh, maybe that's a later problem. Definitely the pillars are the object of interest. There's gonna be a gem here.
How strange. To see this place long before my birth. Centuries before the corruption set in that would poison the land and put me on the treacherous path I still followed. In the future, these edifices would be condemned to darkness and decay. I would cause their fall and build my empire upon their ruins. Was it still possible that with the right knowledge, the right moves, I might one day see Nosgoth restored, the pillars pure once more? My answer, according to Mobius, lay somewhere to the west of this place. I could restore the world, perhaps, but never again could I give Nosgoth back her innocence.
It's very interesting to see a character like Kain have something like a redemption arc, because for most characters that have a redemption arc, there's some element of admitting wrongdoing or admitting error that comes into play, and I think with Kain, he doesn't so much admit having done wrong or having made the wrong choice. I think he's still arrogantly backing his old choice, but also feels regret for it. So there's that makes him a much more interesting character, an interesting villain, and also a legit protagonist, as in somebody who changes over the course of the story because he's not apologetic. He's regretful, and that's a much more complex sort of emotional makeup that I like very much, and would always love to see more of. Such a good villain. He's also the kind of villain that you usually see. You know, your target of destruction. Whoops. Rip. Your target of destruction as another character, as a hero, and they are a sympathetic bad guy that you have to destroy. Let's try that one more time. I saw a power up there. Let's see if we can get this to work better. Yeah, he's not so easily pigeonholed. Okay. Good. That is a good point, Logan. That's interesting. That does add a layer of I don't know. I'm gonna call it objective assurance to the choices that he made, because there's the self-assurance that comes from having the kind of, you know, heroic temperament that heroic or villainous temperament that Kain does. But then there is the you know, if you know that you didn't have a choice any other way, somebody who is sufficiently self-respecting would not feel bad about having made the choice, although they might feel bad about the choice itself. Oh, right, I can just do that. I'm a vampire and I can turn into mist. Gates are nothing to me. Just like your petty bourgeois morality. Oh man, Kain's combat is just so much more satisfying because of the ability his telekinesis makes him a much more fun character to play as. Who is the mage? Screwing up my rhythm. Well, you're not him, but... Gobble. Bonk. What the heck happened? Oh, come on, I want to eat. Ah, gobble all of them. Ah. Okay, this is telling me I can do that. Okay, let's take stock of what our options are. I'll probably jump up there from here. Can I? Music tells me I'm fighting somebody, but I don't see who that is. Oh. That's where your wizard is. Wizard or not, here I come. That's the quality dialogue that you expect from a Legacy of Kain game, right? Ah. Oh, I'm out of TK. That's what's going on. Well, fortunately, I can remote drain that fella. I like that these guys block your attacks. And I'm guessing if I were a Raziel player, if I were Raziel, I would probably need to roll past their defenses and hit them from the side. But Kain can actually take the aggressive way of breaking through their defenses and lift them up with TK, knock them off their poise, and then attack them when they're sort of off their balance. And that is cool. Oh, that was a blood font that was over there. I did not know that that's what that was. I intended to grab the meal I'd earned, but no, thank you. Yeah. Would like a more stable camera here, if I'm asked my druthers. There we go. Wait, what? Okay, that's where I just came from. Love Kain's sneaky stalk. Which, I guess if you're at that level of preparedness, it seems like you maybe just want to have your sword already drawn. Unless you are sort of caught between whether or not to attack or run away, in which case it does make sense to leave your sword sort of sheathed on your back so you can make a good skedaddle without having to make that extra move. So, don't listen to me. I'm no swordsman. Wait, what? Ah, I went backward. Oh, no. Okay, this one's for keeps. Okay. So that's what the camera did that was weird. That threw me off. Cool. That looks like a puzzle piece.
My path ended here, offering only this empty vista. Was this another of Mobius's little jokes? Or a puzzle for which I had not yet found the answer? This symbol seemed familiar. Perhaps I needed to recover another fragment of the balance emblem before I could proceed.
I'm gonna say that given everything we've encountered so far in your entire existence, that is a correct guess. Can I look at this vista? No, I cannot. It's very interesting that the eye that they chose to have the sort of like no good strike through on is not it's not really symbolic. It actually looks kind of representative, like an actual person's eye, and that's interesting. Oh. Whoop. I would like to attack you, please. Oop, jump. There we go. Poor guy. He's getting bounced around like a tennis ball on the other side of that rock. Alright, that's everyone. So, this appears to be my way forward. I do also see... It does not look like there is a good way up there, and I'm gonna guess that wherever I go this way takes me in a full circle that ends at that door there, allowing me to drop down with the remaining piece of the balance emblem and proceed from there. So that's my guess, knowing how this game uses kind of a circular looping level design, kind of like Dark Souls does. Wait a minute. Okay. I am going backwards, but maybe this is the right choice, because there was that door that I could not open previously, and there was a little dais, I believe, and maybe that stone disc that I picked up goes there.
Stone disc.
Yeah.
Balance emblem. Flame.
Okay. Ah. Archers, man. Ruining my rhythm. Yes, that does, in fact, mean you are the first to die. I can abide losing, but don't make me feel like I'm not cool. There we go. Conk. The least dramatically satisfying sound to hear after you have just done a cool blood consumption. What? I actually don't know what that special move is. Running toward the camera is always an ominous choice of direction. Do I hear wraiths? I do. I don't know whose side those wraiths are on. They seem... I want to say they are related to the Elder God, but I'm not 100% certain on that because the Elder God's minions are almost exclusively sort of soul-eating. Oop. Okay, here are the pillars, Source of Regret, Inevitability of Fate. This is where we're going. I also dig how, I mean, Kain doesn't really sprint. It is such a small thing, but, you jerks. Alright, all of you. What? Oh. I, activated this. I guess we're all a little surprised by that, huh? We good? Yes, we're good. I do like the little blood mist effect that happens when he's chowing down, and then it sort of all gathers and then collects into him. It's interesting to think of the. I mean, the fang piercing the throat is always like you know. I used to think that when a vampire bit somebody on the neck, the fangs had some sort of like siphon in them, kind of like snake fangs have venom. Shooters that you bite and then it goes in. And I thought that vampires had the opposite of that, where they would bite and they would actually drink the blood through the fangs, but no, it's the other way around. They drink it through the mouth and the fangs puncture. And it's interesting that it's a different kind of vampire that creates a blood mist and then huffs it. There we go. Thank you. I hear water. Oh, these look like old vampire angel form statues. And then after having been a few weeks away from Legacy of Kain, I have to get used to the rhythm of inputs again, which I kind of my fingers want these to be like Devil May Cry Capcom-esque chaining inputs, where you press the button for your next move, kind of while the current move is being executed, and with those kinds of games, you can usually switch to a different kind of move. In this case, like an attack thing, and then if you tap the TK button, that's a different kind of attack, and you can chain those together. And this game is a little different. You have to wait till the animation completes, and then you can start doing the next one. I prefer the Capcom approach personally, but it's still. I mean, I can still get into this as long as following the way that the game wants to be played feels crisp and fun. No, that's not crisp or fun. I thought that was a platform I could jump on, but no. There we are. Okay, so I probably got a TK attack that. I bet that is my balance emblem piece right up there. Bonk. Okay, that's not a repeat attack thing. Not 100% sure what that does. Also, I want to take a look here. That totally looks like something I should be able to jump on. No, 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 no! That is a dead end. Nope! Okay. So, I see. Jump up here. I know I've talked about this before on other Legacy of Kain games, but especially the way this one is going, I can really feel the DNA of the Uncharted games in this game's design. Nope. Okay. So I should be able to jump there. Let's see if we have to poke this. Ah, there we go. Nope, 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 nope. Shoot. No, no, oh, oh. Right, the wrong second. Or the last second. Too late, is what I'm saying. There we go. Thank you.
Another fragment of the balance emblem. This one endowed with the properties of dimension. Perhaps this would reveal the mystery that lay west of the pillars, if Mobius spoke the truth, and there was indeed something there to find.
Dimension as an element. It's very interesting. Oh, no, no, oh! Is there something I can go up and do up there? That sure looks like a door. Oh, that looks like a Raziel door. I don't think Kain can do a lot with that. Right now, my only understanding of what the different balance emblems, the effect that they have on the Reavers, my only understanding of that is that it affects the special move that you are capable of performing. I'm not aware of it impacting combat otherwise. Oh my god, so many of the most annoying enemies at once! You guys can give me space to drink from the jugular of your best friend, but you can't let me have my moment in the air with a combo without interrupting me with a volley? What kind of priorities were you guys trained in? There we go. There we go. Chomp both of you once. Come on. There we go. Oh, swing and a miss. Ooh, Nightmare's Hammer. What does this do for us?
Cadaverous laceration. Sanguine censure. Infernal sundering. Nightmare's Hammer.
While crossing swords midair, I am able to throw my quarry into the ground far below and then recall them within range of my continued assaults. Okay, so this is a bounce. Midair bounce move. Wow, I'm actually really close to maxing out all of Kain's available moves. Oh, man. Let's see what Dimension does. Oh, that's cool. It's my, my The World style attack. Evening Rocks, good to see you. How are you? I wonder if I can chain that. Yes! You can, in fact. Oh, nifty! I'm glad to see Soul Reaver getting love on Twitch. Who still wants to fight me? Oh, there we go. I hear dramatic music, but I don't see dramatic warriors. Come out. Go back in. Yeah. All right, you out. Oh, or you over there, apparently. Can I get... There we go. That's great. Also appears to do quite a bit of damage. I was able to bloody that guy with only 3 smacks. Oh, my TK is low. That's what's going on. Nope. Evening, Iceman Dance. Good to see you. Yeah, I had some stuff come up that took me away from streaming for a couple of weeks there, but I'm back, and the intention is to once more be regular on the streaming. And is our guy down here still? What's going on? Huh. Oh, okay. He's just a drowning corpse. This is Legacy of Kain Defiance. We played through Soul Reaver a while back. And this is the third in that that particular series. Legacy of Kain, not Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain, the first one, is its own thing in many ways to me, because even though the world is the same, the gameplay is sort of evolved in a very particular way from the Soul Reaver 1 days. The only thing that would make that even cooler and a little more absurd would be if I could drink his blood in midair as he was falling. Hey. That is my gallbladder, thank you very much. Evening, Phoenicia. I did not know that there was a 19th century book named Legacy of Kain. see. Yep. Those guys with the giant broadswords, in my brain, draw a line between them and the Templar Knights of the first Assassin's Creed. I think maybe because they do have a sort of, their uniforms remind me of a Crusaders. Unique from all the other enemies, because the other enemies just sort of have a general fantasy soldier vibe to them. But that is a great question, Phoenicia, and thank you for asking. I am gonna take a look at that later because if there's anything that I like, books. Also 19th century books, which even though I have far less opportunity or need to read now than when I was in school, still enjoy reading a good 19th century novel. I was actually thinking about Middlemarch the other day, and I am about 7/8 through it. Something came up around the time I was about to wrap it up, and never wound up getting back to it. Oh, that's cool. It even it just attacks anybody within combat range. It doesn't have to even be on my own plane. Why don't you guys just come down here? And... is that all? Nobody else? Nope, that's it. Good. I kind of feel like I kind of want that jump to be just a little more forgiving because I've failed it more times than I feel I need to, given how important it doesn't seem to be. Oh, you guys are going away. Goodbye. Goodbye, Archer. You, we can keep around. Ah. Oh yeah, no, I think that likening this Kain to the biblical Kain makes sense because there's a sort of loss of innocence of humanity, an extra loss of innocence in humanity in Kain.
Away, revealing an ancient citadel. So Mobius had not lied. Or perhaps this was simply another of the time streamer's illusions meant to slow my true endeavor.
At this point, I'm honestly kind of surprised that Kain is still on board with any advice that he gets from the time streamer, from Mobius. I think this is the first moment where Raziel's and Kain's locations have sort of started to overlap. I mean, in their different time periods.
The vampire hunters, brazen as they were, feared to walk these paths. I knew one spirit haunting this place. Perhaps there were others as well.
Yeah, hold on, guys. I'm doing a thing. Guys. Trust but verify, that's right. There we go. Okay, they also hit that as a barrier. I'm guessing they're supposed to have spawned in here with me. And I wonder if my activating that bonus item screwed that up. I think starting to get how to play Raziel a little bit better as opposed to Kain. I keep wanting Raziel to have the same sort of like offensive defense that that Kain does, but he is supposed to be played, I think, a little more lithe, a lot more dodging intended, which I feel like would work a little bit better if there were move canceling. It kind of goes back to something that I said before about having to wait for a certain move to finish before you can actually put the input in for the next one. There we go. Soul of a big man. Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. It's not like he has any other leads. Oh, wait, you're down for the count. Good. Okay. Oh, that's that door that I remarked upon when Kain was going back through the area behind the pillars. So there we go. Yeah, that would be where Kain got the balance emblem piece, and apparently somebody decided in the intervening 500 years to go ahead and rebuild that statue of a vampire angel's head. So, are they fighting each other, or what's going on? Oh, no!
These smoldering sconces seemed as though they would ignite, if only I had a fire source.
What? No, don't do that. And I do not have a Fire Reaver, so that's definitely what I'm going to be acquiring here. Gut says I'm probably about half to 2/3 the way through the game, which, whoops, knocked him straight to the wall, which feels very reasonably portioned, and after being used to playing games that are so much longer, Let's see what happens when we go back through. Yeah, sorry guys, this is something I gotta take care of in there. Thank you for your patience. There's a combat liability that every time I'm near a door, I accidentally go through it. Chomp. Good. Anybody down there? No. Yes, Flame Temple it is. Is that a fire-breathing thing or just a aperture? Just an aperture, looks like. Stylized, but an aperture nonetheless. That is some kind of brazier. Do I move these with my hands or no? But I definitely need to activate whatever this is, so I see if I need to get this thing over to I need to get this thing over to the fire, and probably into the center there. So this is a vacancy. Can I grab this? Can I knock these things around with telekinesis? In fact, I cannot. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will do something. Alright, what do you... Oh, I see. I get it. I need to move that last gate so I can get it as close to the fire source as possible. There we go. I like that they changed Raziel's posture to a landing posture where he's got his feet out to sort of catch himself as he gets within a certain distance from the ground. Excellent. Oh, back put, don't fall over. You stay put, don't fall. Good. It is nice to have circled around to the time of year when it is light enough outside during streaming hours for it to show up through my window. I was going back through the old stream archives, and I started streaming almost exactly a year ago, around the time my son was born. I, obviously took time off to take care of him, and that was almost exactly to the day that I started streaming. So it had a kind of nice circularity to it. But yeah, I was looking back through those old archives, and you can see the light clearly coming in through that window back there. And then as the year goes on, it gradually gets darker and darker, and that goes away. And now here we are back again, and there's evening through the window visible, and that's nice.
I sought to unravel the mystery of my fate, and in this image lay my first clue. For this scene depicted the forging of the Reaver, the weapon destined to become my prison. And I recognized its maker. The years had changed him, but this was unmistakably the vampire Vorador. And in this era, he still lived. If I could reach him before Mobius's mob hunted him down, he would provide the answers I sought. These images chronicled Vorador's creation. As I already knew, he had not been born a vampire, but had been turned by the infamous Janos Ordrin. But this mural suggested that Vorador's origins were even more significant. Apparently, he was the first human to whom the dark gift had been passed. This was the vampires' desperate bid to preserve their bloodline, for their enemies had cursed them not only with bloodthirst, but with sterility as well.
Oh, so they can only choose to be immortal and not continue their lineage. Okay, yeah, this almost looks like Raziel there in the background, entirely because of the hairstyle. Yeah, I remember it was Janos Audrin that the mob slew in Soul Reaver 2. I don't think we ever saw Vorador's death. I remember he had an on-screen moment. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in 5 minutes. go. No Deltahead stream is complete without a guest appearance from our friend Barrister, who has, in the interim, since the last time y'all saw him, he has gotten a little bit of a haircut. He has gotten trimmed down for summer because this guy has a medium-length overcoat that, frankly, wears down on him. Too much majesty, too much glory. Gotta shed some of those credentials. Or else he's gonna shed the credentials all over the couch. That's less good. Hello, sir. And we have the Vice President coming in as we speak. Barrister has also lost a little bit of weight. Oh, look at that guy. But he is just as chill as ever. And I'm sure you can see him drooling, which is his I am so happy right now reflexive response. Guy's a water park. Thank you for blessing us, sir. I'm going to get a towel now to clean up the floor. There we go. Friends, we have a small little gathering here. He is as regal as ever. A fine, fine boy. Okay, let's get this fire reaver. Oh, good, right. Let's just go ahead and do this just in case. Always good as a safety measure. Well, this broken. Oh man, they are just, they are beside themselves with anticipation doing their reenactment of Tremors starring Kevin Bacon. What? Felt like I got kind of stuck there for a second. Now that we are in the third such dungeon, I am noticing a sameness in the way that the Reaver forges are.
This spirit vessel was not yet activated.
Designed.
Perhaps there was some means for me to awaken it.
All right, gotta awaken the spirit vessel. Tiptoe through the window here. And is there any place to reincarnate?
I was met by the specter of the Nature Guardian, monstrously deformed since its death centuries ago.
Rejoice, creature, for today your spirit will return to the One.
Whoop. That's not what you expect when you take a drink of water. I'm guessing this is one of the 9 guardians of the pillars that, alongside Ariel, got iced there when everything went to pot. Whoop. Bonk. Oh, wow. This is, maybe I should have, healed up before I attempted this. Ooh, that's knocking me around. I might not win this. No. Yeah. That's up I'm in the spirit realm, so I should not have the constant life drain. No. We're leaving here. Whew. Close call.
Apparently, a single soul was not enough to activate this spirit vessel. Perhaps another specter was lurking around here somewhere.
Does that mean I need to fight another boss, or does that mean the souls I'm chomping are the? I guess it's. I guess I need to find another boss. Okay, so that's where I just came from, right? Yeah. I'm not. You know what? Maybe it's a good idea to go ahead and kill these things, just in case that's gonna stop something from progressing. There. Okay, so if that would have posed any obstacle, it is now cleared. Oh, we are back to our terrifying otherworld ambience. Something that... Wonder if there's something I need to go to the physical realm to access. Let's just kind of finish checking the circumference first. Yeah, here we go.
Approaching the tomb, I was met by the specter of the Guardian himself.
Eternity weighs heavily.
I have a solution.
I bear it in atonement. But your moment of existence has passed. Come and be released.
Ooh, that's a heavy hitter there. That knockback attack. Come on, do the stabby. Want him to do the Polnareff million stab attack. corner, this does not give you the escape that you intended to. Alright, did that clear it?
The spirit vessel would not respond in the spectral realm. I had to return to the physical world to use it.
Let's see. Any soul snacks around here? I'm pretty sure I have to be at max health before I can return.
Going home. There is no hope.
Nope, that is an older Legacy of Kain requirement.
As the Reaver absorbed the souls of the Nature and Conflict Guardians, it was imbued with the elemental power of fire with which their principles were aligned. I was now equipped to reach the pillars.
Oh, interesting. So it seems like there's something similar going on here that happened in Soul Reaver 1, whereas in Soul Reaver 1, Raziel was going around and reabsorbing portions of Kain's soul that he had allotted to his various vampire administrators, leaders, and now he's going through and collecting bits of the perished guardians, which certainly, once we reach the climax here, will make the Reaver significantly stronger. Okay. Weird. For some reason, it seemed like with the flame attack that it was hitting faster, but that doesn't seem to be a property exclusive to it. Excuse me. So there should be a door I can go through that will let me climb up. Is this it? Oh, well, that is it, but not in the way that I thought. So, all good. Out. No, that is another broken gate. Oh, hello. Thank you. Any sconces about? Oh, nope, that's not. Okay. Let's try this way instead. Oh, that scared me. Okay. What's this? Does it do anything? Ah. That would be one. Yep. Can I? Nope. That's number 4. Yeah, there we go. All those gates look identical to the one that I came through, which make me wonder if those were supposed to be, not from a design point of view, but from a lore point of view, other points of entry into this temple. Alright. Let's go set something on fire. Oh, there we go. Oh.
This is our world.
Later, chumps. Whoa! Okay, that's a big guy. I probably should have taken advantage of the sconce that was this way. Let's leave combat and run away. Just gotta hang out here. I know there's a sconce up here. Right there. Whew! Close. Oh, just flipping. Yep. Yes, health, please. There we go. Let's see. My way to the pillars up here? Oh no, this is what Kain. This is where Kain. Oh, that's where the Citadel used to be. That Kain is flying to in his time period.
Once again, I beheld the pillars of Nosgoth, crumbling in decay now, following the corruption of the Circle. Here I would find Ariel, the specter of the murdered Balance Guardian, and the last pure, undefiled member of the Guardian Circle. Bound here upon her death, she was doomed to haunt these pillars until her successor fulfilled his terrible duty, and balance was restored.
What manner of creature approaches?
I know you well, Ariel, though you do not yet know me.
I have no time for riddles, strange one.
All you have is time. I have come to seek your guidance.
I counsel only one man, and you are not he. But you will know him soon. The contagion of your kind is coming to an end.
My kind? What exactly do you think I am?
Your name shall remain unspoken, as decreed by our ancestors. You serve the one who so brutally took my life and set this tragedy in motion. But even now, hope is at
She
work.
thinks he's a vampire.
Balance will be restored, and your kind will be expelled forever.
You have pinned your hopes on Kain.
Derek!
He will
It's good
disappoint
to see you. How are you?
What can you know of Kain?
More than you could ever fathom.
He will do what he must when the time comes.
By choosing his own death. A sacrifice for the world. You don't know Kain very well.
I know what he is called to do. My faith sustains me.
Is it faith or fear? You know that if Kain refuses the sacrifice, you will never leave him.
Eric.
And you begin
Eric.
to
Sorry, I'm
suspect.
getting letters confused. Eric. That's that's transposing the last initial there. Eric. Hi.
Illusions.
Ask then.
I seek the vampire Vorador.
To kill him, perhaps, or to join him in death. But for Kain, he is the last of his kind. Mobius's mob has done its work.
My reasons are my own.
His refuge lies in the heart of the Black Forest. And may you molder there together until the end comes.
Yeah, that is like the most aerial line to end that on. Like the bitterness that that woman knows has no parallel. Oh, that's someone coming to skedaddle. I'm sorry to hear about the wisdom teeth. That's rough. Oh, there we go. That's weird. Trying to figure out what's going on with the terrain here. Yeah, I've had two. I only had to have 2 wisdom teeth taken out, and I had them taken out many, many years apart. It is not pleasant, and I'm sorry that you were dealing with that. As a matter of fact, one of them I remember. Okay, there we go. One of them I remember distinctly the moment when I was under. It was under. It wasn't Novocaine. It was the gas. I'm forgetting. Nitrous oxide. That's it. I was under nitrous oxide, and I could feel, without pain, but just the pressure of the impact, the moment when they like kind of cracked it in half and then extracted the different parts. And it is something. It's very strange to have something that's in your mouth be destroyed and removed, and have what is almost a detached observation. You know, feel like you have a detached observation of it, rather than you know that happening to you. It's not as unpleasant as it sounds, but also not something that I would be eager to repeat. What do we got here?
This seemed to be attuned to the elemental principle of air.
But yeah, just a comment real quickly on what happened there with Ariel. That is, it's great to see Ariel even if she lacks the facts of the knowledge, which in this case she does not seem to have the. She seems to not have the perspective of like Mobius, where all options and all time frames, all timelines are known to her, but she nonetheless. Everything's running around on fire. That's great. I see. That gives me a clarity there. She nonetheless retains her trademark bitterness, except is somehow even more viciously condemning, and no love for vampires in her. Doing it without sedation is bold. That is some metal work there, my friend. I did it with let's see. Did it with gas one time, and I think Novocaine the other, or topical anesthesia, and I mean, I'm just remembering the the 2 weeks of, you know, popping 6 Advil at a time, Advil, 6 ibuprofen at a time, just to make life tolerable. And that's after the moment of physical trauma. So you are bold, and I salute you. Also bold as this animal. Hold on. Hey, come here. Hey. Come on. Come on. Yeah, hi. Oh, say hi to the Vice President of Evil. Emphasis on the Vice. No, come on. She is a rascal indeed. Alright, what is this? Looks like a leather shield that I'm about to pick up. Evening, Sway Arts. Good to see you. Yeah, she is constantly aggrieved, and in the many ways of cats, I think that even if they don't, well, that's maybe unintended. In the ways that some animals can see, you know, infrared spectrum light, I think that cats have the ability to identify what you would like them not to do and go immediately for it. And the biology behind that would probably military applications for that, right? Just to see what somebody doesn't want you to mess with and go for it. But yeah, no. Hello. Don't mind if I do. Anything that seems of value or of interest, or that what I'm doing might depend on. She is there to destroy. Oh, there we go. Hiding in piles of leaves. Yoink! Yoink! And yes, the I don't know if I'd call it dissociation. I think detachment is probably the best for it, because I'm still definitely identifying with myself as an entity in that moment. But yeah, I have not had many experiences with anesthesia, thankfully, in my day. But the ones that I have had are all their own things. I think probably the most frequent ones that I have had have been dental. I love these games. I recommend them if you have a curiosity and a patience for the the developing PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 3D adventure game genre. They will reward your curiosity and your time handsomely. The narrative, the story experience is exquisite. The characters are lovely. It's well written. It has a very distinct style that. If your preference to the exclusion of other types of writing is in the more sort of Last of Us, minimalist, gritty, realism way of writing, it would not be to your taste. But if you dig the artifice, if you like the sort of like high fantasy, and the thing is, it's like there's. Let me set this guy on fire. There we go. Let's see what his on fire animation is. Anyway, yeah, if you're okay with that, then you will absolutely love the way they're written. The voice acting matches it perfectly. It is one of the, in terms of writing and performance, it feels like good theater. The IP is in a weird spot. I don't know about legally, but in terms of what, how much Okay, cool. But in terms of how many resources they're willing to invest in it, I believe Square Enix owns it, and there was some speculation about an HD remake, maybe confirmed, I don't know, because it was briefly pulled off of its Steam page for just a little bit. They are for sale pretty inexpensively on Steam if you want to go take a look at them. One of the stream regulars, Dreambomb, linked me to an unreleased and discontinued sequel that would have been contemporary to maybe Assassin's Creed 2, and it showed signs of that sort of era, PlayStation, PS3, Xbox 360 era of open world adventure game design. And it was also directed by Sam, let's see, Bartlett? Bartlett? He's the guy who directed Silent Hill Shattered Memories. So somebody who has an idea of kind of like what an interesting story is and an interesting way of telling it. And it was discontinued, and it looked like it was pretty far along, actually. It looks like the leaked footage online definitely has vertical slice feels to it. And I don't know what the politics are around it or what the decisions were, but that exists in somebody's vault, and might be a little late to resurrect it because of the way that I think that maybe people's expectations of adventure game design might have moved on since then. But you know, if they can bring back The Last Guardian, PlayStation 2 design game in the PS4 era, by gosh, they should be able to bring that back. But yeah, if you do a search for the just getting kind of slammed around by this guy. If you do a search for I think I just threw somebody off a cliff, and he's just screaming in the distance. If you do a search for canceled Legacy of Kain game, you'll find about 30 minutes of footage. And if you're interested in playing the series, you don't have to worry about it spoiling anything because it's a totally new protagonist, and whatever connections would eventually come from that game's story intersecting with these have not, were not revealed at that point. Legacy of Kain: Dead Sun, thank you. Is this? Yes. This is a situation. So, the kind of thing that you just saw there, which is switching into a netherworld, that is a mechanic that is made much more use of in the earlier games, which have a more puzzle adventure game feel to them. This one is much more platform and combat heavy, and in fact the combat is at its most sophisticated in Defiance. Yeah, what's kind of brilliant, and one of the things that this series was really remarkable for technically in its day was streaming two different versions of the environment at the same time. So you see there I'm on that pedestal, and I go into this netherworld, and it lifts up. There are ways that you are intended to solve puzzles by switching back and forth between realms like that. And I fell off that pillar, so now I have to find a way to reincarnate on the ground. Oh, weird. It's still removed. I thought it was a temporary thing. And let's see. Bonk. Eat all of these snacks. Thank you very much. And it is 9:16, which is about the time that I turn into a pumpkin, so let me see if I can find a place to get back to the physical realm here. There's a place to save on. Certainly there's got to be a place near the pillars. Lots of people have died here. The way Raziel's reincarnation works in this one is you have to find basically a buried body, and there are sites which are just have like like a ton of them, and your spirit goes into the grave, you inhabit that corpse, and then adjust it. In this case, rip it away to manifest your revenant form. This feels like a really long way to go to have to reincarnate for that puzzle. Which leads me to think I overlooked something. Yeah! A lot of things that are really nasty that I would like not to deal with. Thank you very much. Anything over here? Maybe I can jump back up there from here? I don't know. Oh wow, there was a guttural voice just kind of atmospherically saying, "Please don't do it." Well, it is, yeah, it is hard stop time, so I've got to save it, and we will pick back up again. There have been some interruptions in stream regularity. But we're going to pick back up on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next week, and continue with this. And after Legacy of Kain, we're going to do a Village of Shadows difficulty run of Resident Evil 8, and that's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of dying. So thanks everybody for coming out. It's great to see everyone. And Eric, fantastic to see you. Hope to see you out here again. And good luck recovering from the wisdom teeth. And yeah, everybody have a great night. Oh, let me get this over here. Yeah, thanks for coming out. It's always great to see you. Evening, Joey. Yeah, next Saturday. And I will be here. Maybe even with less hair. We'll find out what the week brings. So, have a great night.